game suspension is the reason why he has missed all that time, but he'll return to the ice this afternoon as the Devils take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, the Maven Stan Fischler is a man who has some very strong opinions. Some you agree with, some you disagree with. The fans get their turn and take a shot at the Maven and his thoughts.
Well, I invited you fans to sound off, and sound off you did. One of the letters came from Mr. George Haar of East Northport, Long Island, who had many strong opinions about the NHL. One of his major issues is, why doesn't the league protect its superstars? Well, I don't necessarily agree with Mr. Haar, so I thought I'd pay him a visit. George,
hey,
you got some issues.
I sure do.
Well, let's go in and talk about them. So, George, in your sound off, you say the NHL should protect superstars. What's your gripe?
Well, like one of my favorite players, Pavel Bure. I watched him on a Tuesday. It cost me $250 in tickets. On Thursday, he's out with an ACL for a year. I missed the guy.
Let me tell you something. Ever since hockey's been played, superstars have been hurt. You know, that's part of the game. Physical hockey is part of the game. And in the old days, stars like Rocket Richard, Gordie Howe, they fought their own battles. What's wrong with that?
Well, nowadays, you got teams paying someone $1 million a year who hasn't scored a goal in 2 years to go out and hurt somebody. Maybe it's a different time now. Maybe it should be cleaned up.
Okay. In forces, you got guys like Ty Domi. They can play hockey. I saw Ty Domi get a breakaway goal against the Islanders. Nothing wrong with the way Ty Domi plays hockey. He's doing two things. If you have anything against tough hockey, you know what I suggest you do? Watch basketball. Really.
Well, hockey players are going 30 miles an hour. Basketball players, when they're running full speed, are going about 22 miles an hour. I mean, when you got two people going 30 miles an hour and they ram each other, you got a lot of injuries. And if I hear an announcer say, when someone gets carried off on the ice from a concussion or a broken jaw or a dislocated shoulder, and the announcer says, that was a good, clean hit, well, I'll tell the owners, change the rules.
Okay, let me tell you something. You put another thing down in your letter, which I like to talk about, and that is how to settle an overtime game, or how do you settle a tie game. Now, the NHL is trying something, an experiment in the American League, 4 players. Personally, I say should have a shootout. One guy in each team, take your chances, and that's it. What do you think?
Well, I'd like to see the ties broken somehow, but I'd like to make sure that the coaches can't play for a tie and go for their 1 point and 1 point. It makes for too much boring hockey in the last 10 minutes.
But just tell me, you like my... One guy, if you're Rangers, Gretzky, the other team, you let your guy, and that's it. How do you feel about that?
I like it, but I'd take it just a little further. I'd make sure that we go back and forth till there's a winner. There's got to be a winner. Regular season, I got to see a winner in the regular season game.
Okay, I say a tie, you say a winner. There's one area that we agree on. Finally, George, the 2-referee system, awful, right?
Too crowded, too many people. I'd rather see the linesmen calling the penalties, too. They're out there anyway. Let them do some more work.
I don't know about the linesmen. I mean, one referee, they've had one referee, I don't know how long, 50 years? Hey, to me, that's good enough. But we agree on one thing. At least that's something we can shake on. And thanks for writing.
Thank you.
Yeah. George, am I glad that I came here tonight?
Good.
You have great dip. No, I mean it. I happen to like the dip. Could you pass the mustard, please? Thank you. I love hot mustard. George, you made some very interesting points. Thanks.
Thanks for coming, Stan.
Okay.
Stan walking off into the sunset. A little sound off between Stan and a fan, and as you saw in that address, you too, if you're strong enough in your opinion, may get a visit from Stan. When we come back, we'll pay a visit to the Coach's Corner. Robbie Ftorek, he'll talk about today's game, update us on some injuries and more.